Our next outstanding alum is from the class of 1971, Dr. Suzanne Hickman.
Suzanne Hickman from the class of 1971 is being recognized for her accomplishments in the area of fine arts. Suzanne is a coloratura soprano. She has enjoyed a singing career performing in opera, oratorio, concert engagement, and recitals in Europe and the United States. She has trained at Interlochen, DePauw University, the University of Illinois, the Metropolitan Opera Studio, the Aspen Music Festival, and the Lake George Opera Festival. She divides her time between academia and professional performance. While serving as the College of New Jersey's exchange professor and Fulbright scholar at the Johann Goethe University in Germany, she received rave reviews for her performances in that country. As a specialist in American vocal music, she has since returned to Germany for a series of concerts by invitation from America House, an artistic and cultural exchange agency. Suzanne has an extensive list of operatic performances with companies in the Midwest, South, and on the East Coast. She has also toured Europe with an AIDS benefit opera concert series, winning rave reviews. One reviewer from the European AIDS concert said, "I haven't come across so strong a coloratura soprano with such a secure top, either in Berlin, Cologne, or Amsterdam." In addition to performing in opera productions, Dr. Hickman has directed productions and opera scenes for opera companies in many different institutions. As a recitalist, she has performed for a variety of noble conferences, universities, and colleges, as well as many community choirs and concert organizations. For many years, her yearly recitals at the College of New Jersey were a tradition not to be missed. A review in Asbury Park Press read, "Her golden coloratura voice was thrilling, her diction clear, her face expressive. She is the kind of singer one remembers long after the notes have faded. Mark the name and don't miss her if you get a chance." The Merry Widow Waltz, sung by Hickman and Newman, was a truly magic moment. As coordinator of vocal studies at the College of New Jersey, her teaching duties include private vocal study, recital planning, diction, vocal literature, vocal pedagogy, as well as performance techniques. Her students have been accepted into many well-known conservatories and graduate schools, as well as enjoying a singing career and teaching in New York and Europe. In addition, many of her students are leading K-12 teachers in New Jersey and the surrounding states. During her 36 years at the College of New Jersey, Dr. Hickman has also served as chair of the Department of Music and has served and chaired every standing committee in the department, as well as committees across the campus. Dr. Hickman was also a longtime member of the music faculty of the New Jersey Governor's School of the Arts, training hundreds of high school students just before their senior year. In addition to being department chair for 2 terms, she maintains membership and leadership positions in professional organizations, including the National Association of Teachers in Singing and the College Music Society. She is a member of Phi Kappa Lambda National Music Honor Society and faculty advisor, and member of Sigma Alpha Iota International Music Fraternity. Suzanne's fellow alum and nominator, Dr. Robert Lerner, became acquainted with her through music activities with the Adrian High School concert band, marching band, and orchestra. He says she was an outstanding flutist, but her calling was in the choral and stage performance areas. She participated in school musicals and served in the lead role of the Adrian High School musical Calamity Jane. Suzanne performed on the Croswell stage in lead roles before leaving Adrian to follow her passion. Robert added that he knew Suzanne to be a person full of compassion and creativity. John Leonard, director of choral activities at the College of New Jersey, says Suzanne has been his mentor for the past 11 years. He added that beyond her professional work, Suzanne is an avid gardener, an active member of her church, and a loving spouse. John describes Suzanne as kind, honest, compassionate, and someone who truly cares for others and for her community. Suzanne resides with her husband, John Weber, in Ewing, New Jersey, where she is a master gardener and yoga instructor.
Congratulations, Suzanne. Please come to the stage and accept your award.
I see what you mean by being able to talk after seeing the videos. It's wonderful to look around this auditorium and realize that the high school has an auditorium. Our auditorium was the Croswell, for many of us, our second homes, and it's great that the students here have that. I really want to thank the Adrian High School Alumni Association for this recognition, and indeed for this honor. I haven't lived in Adrian since the summer of 1976, when I was hired by the Croswell to sing Guinevere in Camelot. It was my first professional gig. And I may not live here, but I have carried this town and the education and the experiences that I had here through my life's journey. Adrian was a great town to grow up in. It was safe, and you knew many, many people. So it was easy to walk, it was safe to walk. We rode our bikes all over to school, to early morning marching band practice, and downtown to the library, maybe to visit Mrs. Cruikshank there. So it was in some ways an idyllic place to grow up. Adrian also had a wonderful culture for the arts, and I think still continues to do this. If I look at it, music was kept in the schools K to 12, which is really important. And also, we had Adrian College and Siena Heights College at that point, now university, who would invite people to be part of their performances, their lecture series. We had community choir, community orchestra. We had so many things that engaged us in the arts and kept people looking at things. We had community concerts, all sorts of things. And in addition to a climate of the arts, we had wonderful teachers. I was on the phone with my dear friend Ann Van Scoik. You might know her as Ann Gray or Ann Wise. And we went through and we could remember every teacher we had had from the time of kindergarten through second grade at Lincoln, all the way through Alexander, all the way through the junior high with its fire chutes, and that we remembered, and all the way through the high school. We remembered their names. We remembered that they all knew their subject matter very well, but most of all, we remembered them as kind and compassionate, fun-loving, and really darn good teachers. They loved their students. This is something that I've taken with me into my teaching. I have students that I encountered in Louisiana in 1978. I'm still friends with them on Facebook, and they write to me and talk to me about the fact that maybe they're not in music anymore, but I taught them more than just being a musician. Taught them self-discipline and taught them to love themselves and to honor themselves, also to be able to take moments of criticism and use it to their advantage. We remembered, Ann and I remembered everything that happened, all the shows we were in, all the marching band, choir, balladeers, everything that was just a wonderful experience. And then I left Adrian and went to DePauw, University of Illinois, and Louisiana, where I started my teaching career. At DePauw, I was lucky enough to work at the Metropolitan Opera as an intern, basically a gopher. And that's where I became enthralled with opera. In fact, I was in an opera before I ever saw an opera somewhere else. And living in New York for a semester and being able to go to the opera any night was a wonderful, wonderful education. But I always thought, what's a kid from Adrian doing at the Metropolitan Opera? It was a blessing, And it was something that, coming from a town that has a wonderful base of education, a wonderful base of the creative arts, I was able to do, as are many people. I went from there to University of Illinois and finished actually courses for 2 majors, and from there I went to teach in Louisiana. And for the last 37 years now, I have been at the College of New Jersey. A couple of other highlights that I have been able to do. I went on an AIDS benefit tour in 1989 to Germany. If you remember what happened in Germany in 1989, and that was the fact that the wall came down. And we just happened to be in the right place at the right time. We sang a concert at the Concertgebouw in Amsterdam, and then we traveled to Cologne, and then we traveled to Berlin 3 days after the wall came down. I climbed the wall, and I have my little piece of the wall that I chiseled off with a little hammer. But most important, we did a concert one evening with the Gay Men's Choir of Berlin, and we sang. Each of us got to sing 2 arias, then we got a chance to sing some ensembles with the choir. And at the very end, we realized that half of our audience were from East Berlin. They had been able to come through the wall and talk to us. They'd never seen an American, so that was an historic and amazing experience. But again, I finished singing Una voce poco fa and went for the high note and stood in the applause and went, what's a kid from Adrian doing here? It's because this place, the people, the teachers, the cultural aspects gave me the background, the experiences, the education to be able to do that. So it was said that I split my time between performing and teaching. And I have to say that at the end of this school year, I'm going to retire from teaching, at least teaching at the college. My heart is so enthralled with teaching and with my students, and I will miss that very much. I am amazed at what my colleagues said about me, and I have to say that I feel the same about them. It's been a wonderful experience. I also want to say that and want to thank my parents. They were wonderful they both loved music, they both loved the creative arts, and they gave me also a background that helped. I want to thank my friends for showing up tonight. It's wonderful to see you, and I want to thank Jenny very much for helping me through this. I also want to thank my brother who showed up for me tonight, and we've had a wonderful time. It's amazing what being interested in education and being given what you need in life. It doesn't always happen. I'm not that naive. I understand that it might not, but when you are, it does give you the opportunity to go way beyond your dreams. And so I thank Adrian Public Schools for that.